Hi, I know it has been a long journey, but today, as the last speaker, I'm hoping to leave every single one of you with something that you feel like is worth remembering. So may I please have your attention for this last talk? Hi again, I'm Sophia Khoury, and I'm here today to talk to you about something that had the power to shape me before I even had the words to understand it. Divorce. When people hear that word, they often think of lawyers, of custody battles, of who will get the house, the mom or the dad. They think it's something that happens between people, two adults. They think in simply a moment or a decision or simply a split. However, for the child, divorce isn't a moment. It's an echo. They often refer to it as well as an event. But for the child, it's not an event. It's a lifetime. It's a series of unanswered questions. It's always having 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, 2 holidays, a set of 2. It's learning how to split yourself into 2 different households, 2 different sets of rules, and most importantly, 2 versions of love. It's an emotional backpack that you carry with you into adulthood without realizing it has been here the whole time. However, for me, it wasn't like that. I still had 1 Christmas, 1 birthday, 1 holiday, 1 of everything. Not 2, just 1. Because my father was never around. For me, the split happened when I was just 3 years old. I grew up without a father because of complicated issues, but that showed that he decided to put these complicated issues before us, before our relationship. So during my life, he was never here, never even tried to be, and never tried or even had to take on the role that he should have been taking, which was being my father, at least not to me. However, I was raised by a single mom. She's right here with us in the audience tonight. My mom, she's not like any mom. She's actually my superhero. Throughout my life, she has worn 1,000 hats. She was my nail tech, my hairdresser, my therapist, sometimes my taxi driver. She was my role model. And because she was so strong, I never felt his absence, not at first. She always shielded me, made sure I had what I needed, and always, whether it was then or now, helped me feel safe no matter where I am. So for the longest time of my life, I've been telling myself, Sophia, you're fine. But now that I'm older, I feel it. You see, divorce didn't just change my parents' relationship and who they are. It changed me. It taught me how to be independent, how to survive. It made me grow up a little faster. And most importantly, it forced me to be cautious and guarded all the time. It made me afraid of love, and afraid that if I ever found something beautiful, it simply might just break. So then, I'm finding myself constantly measuring up people's loyalties towards me, constantly wondering if I'm too much or even not enough to make someone stay. However, I know now that that is not true. Later, after my parents' divorce, my dad remarried. He built his new house, built his new family, moved on. However, my mom, she met this amazing man, my stepfather. He's also with us tonight. I still remember waiting for him every night to come home from work, because when I say every night, I mean it. Every single night, he had a new activity that he would bring me, and we would do it together. I never accepted to go to bed unless he would come and we would have our time together. He proved to me from a younger age till now that even though he didn't have the same blood as me, even though he didn't owe me anything, didn't have any loyalties towards me, that didn't stop him from stepping into the father figure and becoming the dad I always wanted to have. I feel lucky Because even if I had the chance to change my family, I wouldn't even look at that chance. Till this day, us three, we form a family. We're not your usual type of family. We are unique. I know everyone says that, but we have our unique memories as well as our unique battles. When I earlier told you that my mom didn't let me feel the weight, he was a big part of that. However, because of my father, because of the abandonment that he left me, I became someone that struggles with trust. I also struggle with identity. I struggle with the question, will I end up like them? And most importantly, I struggle with the fear that maybe I am too broken to be whole. However, even though everything happened, when she noticed my pain, she decided to shield me, step into my life and shield me. Not only from his actions, but every time he didn't come here to see me, or every time he wasn't present at something I had to do. For example, he doesn't have a clue I'm here today standing, doing a TEDx youth. He doesn't know. She decided to shield me. She still does to this day. She makes sure I have what I need. She makes sure I always feel safe, no matter where I am. My father, he tried, still tries, and I know will still try to form some kind of relationship together. However, the same thought was always on my mind. Sophia, you're not enough. That's why your father abandoned you. And now, while he's trying, I've already made my mind up. Whatever he was gonna do wasn't gonna change the fact that for the 16 years of my life, he wasn't present. It wasn't gonna change the fact that he broke me away and there was no going back from it. So now, everything was happening all over again. History was repeating itself all over again, but he wasn't the one doing the abandoning. Instead, it was me. I am now abandoning any chance I have to have a normal father-daughter relationship with him. Even though this was a big struggle for me, my family never let me feel the weight. She was always there for me no matter what, and I'm so grateful for that. However, I still felt like I needed to change, break free from this cycle, because I feel stuck in this stereotype that wasn't so wrong after all, but still, I felt like I needed to change. I needed to move on, let the past be a lesson, and not let it define my future. I shouldn't let this stereotype trap me into this box and keep on hurting me all over again. So now, because I let go of the stereotype, I was in so much eagerness to change that the first time I tried to do it, I failed miserably. And here's what I've learned. Change, it's not something you can just walk up to as if it's a competition and receive a medal and a trophy for accomplishing it. Change is a journey. It's a long path ahead of you. Sometimes it's smooth, but sometimes it's full of potholes. So now, what I'm trying to do is taking this chance to change one step at a time, little by little, small thing upon the other. Because I know it's not too late, and I know that I can make it. Regardless of the stereotype, regardless of what people think of me, this is my story. And this is why I'm choosing not to let it be a bystander and not let me be stuck in the past and move forward with my life. Change. So then, to anyone out there who still feels the effects of a choice that they didn't make, I see you. You are not your parents' story. In fact, it doesn't have anything to do with you. Because every single one of you has your own story. One page, one chapter, one book at a time. So the question remains, are we there yet? Have I healed? Have I moved on? No, not at all. Maybe for some of you, yes. But so far for me, I'm still changing. However, even though my father was never around and my family was always right next to me, it was still hard. It was still hard to hide this part of my life that I've been hiding from everyone. Hiding that part that shaped me into becoming the girl I am today. That part that hurted me the most. So you may be asking me, Sophia, how are you going to change? I'm going to use my strengths. And me, just being able to stand here today in front of such an audience, sharing that part of my life that I've kept hidden, that I've kept trapped into this box and thrown away to deal with later, which I know I won't deal with it later, letting out my story into the open, that is strength. And that is part towards my journey for change. So, again, let me ask you this. Are we there yet? Not quite. But what we have so far, our courage to keep going, to deal with our emotions, that is part of our journey towards change, and we have to go through it. So, my name is Sophia Khoury. I'm a grade 11 student. This is part of my journey towards change. Thank you.